This is the third tarpon I've had on the line. This is early sunrise. The first two I caught was during the wee hours in the morning and couldn't really get any video footage. And, I've been dealing with a lot of bullshit recently for like a month. So I ain't gonna bore you with any details. I mean, we all know how that shit goes. I mean, nothing just goes right. So I decided to just reward myself with a new experience and delve a little into sports fishing. And let me tell you how new I am at all of this. I'm not, this is not my typical experience at all. I've spent the majority of my life fishing with a hand reel, or more specifically, a Cuban yo-yo. Okay, I have like even very little experience with fishing rods. Very little experience. The majority of fish I've caught, anywhere from 12 to 20 inches, has been on a hand reel. And fishing poles, reels is really a new thing to me. And it's actually a lot easier. It makes fishing a lot easier, especially these bigger fish. You catch these big fish on a hand reel, your line pretty much gets snapped every time because of a lack of drag. I mean, you can land them sometimes if you got gloves on and you can use your hand as drag, but most of the time the fish will eventually snap the line. I don't care if it's 60-pound test. It will snap the line. A fish like this. But you know, landing big fish is a lot easier on a fishing pole, let me tell you. And you know, this guy, the tarpon I've been catching here, they're not huge. I mean, they definitely get a lot bigger. But it's not my experience, so it's new to me. I wanted to reward myself, and this is a lot of fun. It's not something I'm going to be doing a lot of, but you know, I typically like to go home with something small enough that fits in the frying pan. But I do like to experience new things, and this is me getting the glove ready. Because I could feel the fish was starting to tire, and in order to get them out of the water, you need I just feel safer with a glove on. You probably don't need it, but I just feel safer. And this was a 20-minute battle. I cut a lot of the video out. I think the video in total is like 10 minutes, so I cut half of the video out. Yeah, and once I felt he was tiring, I was walking him to the end of the bridge there. And even as I was walking, he was fighting, just taking line and line and line. Yeah. And unfortunately, I didn't get any footage of him jumping out of the water. You know, I got that all happened before I turned the camera on, like when I first hooked him. And what I was running here is mullet as live bait, and this is out of season. I know the date on the corner of the video there is wrong. It's actually September 2nd when all this was going on, 2014. And this is a new camera. I've just been playing around with it. It's all right. Cheap piece of shit. $100 camera, but anyway, it's out of season for mullet, and the majority of all this fishing was actually trying to catch mullet. I mean, I had a lot of luck catching a lot of other different kind of fish, from pilchards to the silver jennies, which are everywhere, ballyhoo, pinfish. I caught pinfish over the size of my hand. I mean, I couldn't believe the size of the pinfish I was catching. And Yeah, I was catching pretty much every other kind of bait out there except mullet. I think I only got like a handful, like 4 or 5 mullets out of the 30 fish I kept in the bucket. And it's out of season. You know, they're not coming into shore, and when they do come in, they're like in very small little groups, and you got to be very quick with the net. I catch them with a cast net. I run a cheap $50 Leaf Fisher 8-foot cast net. In fact, all my stuff is cheap. That rod right there was $20. The reel was $20. I don't even recall what the brand is of the reel. I mean, everything is cheap. I'm not going to spend a lot of money. A man should not have to spend a lot of money to have fun. That's just my belief. If fishing costs a lot of money, I wouldn't do it. I would not do it. And you know, you got a lot of guys out there. I mean, they go crazy, man. I mean, $100 reels, $100 poles. You know, they don't want to spend the most money on the best line and $200 sunglasses. I mean, the sunglasses I use to see the bait is only $20. I bought it in CVS. You can see the bait just fine with those cheap ass glasses. But anyway, this was the 3rd tarpon. I've never done sports fishing like this before. The fishing part is the easiest part. It was catching the bait that took the longest. I mean, it was like 4 or 5 hours trying to get at least a handful of mullet. I mean, I've caught tarpon on the hand reel, smaller of course, using just pilchards, but it's a hit and miss. You know, that's if I guess if the fish is really hungry. But if you run mullet on that line, I mean, you'll be hitting tarpon every 20-30 minutes, man. I mean, you might not be landing them like this. They might break your line or whatever, but you will definitely be getting them hooked. You know, this is just me walking them down there to the water to where I can take them out. You don't want to be pulling them up from the bridge. I mean, you can't do it anyway because it will snap the line. This is 30-pound test line. It will snap that line. And it's not good for the fish, even if you could. And in fact, even doing it the way I did it here was wrong. You know, you shouldn't pull them up with the line, period. I am a total noob at this, so that right there was a noob mistake that you just saw. And I should have stuck my finger in his mouth and hold the tail end of them and take them out with both hands and pull them up that way. But you know, I'm learning. And using a circle hook gets them in the corner most of the time, especially tarpon. And now I'm just gonna try to release them. I'm not really wasting a whole lot of time. Just get them in my hands and put them back in the water, pretty much. And releasing them is pretty easy. I mean, you want to keep him upright in the water until he swims off. He'll let you know when he's ready. And he swam off, and I just wanted to show how he's a good, strong swim. There he goes. Awesome.